We visited him in Copenhagen, and first I asked him why he had made so few films.
In general, it is because I have always been very critical, if not fastidious, in the choice of my subjects. Before Vampire, I was particularly interested in subjects who gave me the possibility to learn, to make experiments, and to study, find new ways. After Vampire, I have allowed myself only to choose subjects in which I believed and for which I had a strong feeling. For instance, Day of Wrath, Ordet, and Gertrude.
What about the other contemporaries of yours, like von Stroheim and Griffiths? Did you see and admire their work too?
Oh yes, I liked very much Griffith. He was quite new. I can tell you a story that one of the distributors of film here had got the intolerance from Griffith, and he called all the Danish directors to come and see it. And I do not know how the others took it, but I was very moved.
Were you one of the directors who welcomed the coming of sound in the early 1930s?
Oh yes, of course I was. The first sound film I saw and heard was a short documentary about Clemenceau, who has just finished the war 1914-18 and retired to his native village. And the film people came to see him, and he led them to the garden, and they tried to kid him. They had hidden the microphones,
Yeah.
in among the roses, and now they made a lot of silly questions in order to make him talk. But he discovered their slyness and got very angry and hit the microphones with keep that with his stick, his famous stick.
We read in your biographies many accounts of an unhappy childhood. Would you say this accounts for the themes of suffering and intolerance in many of your films?
They have been dramatized a little. But the truth is that I lost my own mother when I was a child, and it is quite possible that that my missing a mother's love may have influenced my mind so that I easily understand and easily feel pity for people who suffer innocently. I do not consider myself a tragedian, but I have unintentionally, slowly, little by little, by and by, been driven in the direction of the tragedy that is the filmic tragedy. And I will not say I have found the form of the filmic tragedy yet, but other directors may continue my work, and someday will find a tragedy at the same height as Shakespeare and Greek.
Who do you think perhaps has come nearest to making a tragedy in the films?
I have not seen any. better than mine.
Gertrude has had a rather mixed reception. Would you say that adverse criticism affects you?
No, I admit it has not affected me very much because I knew I have made a good film, so my artistic conscience is in order.
From your films, it's clear that you have great belief in the powers of the human face to express complex psychological states. Would you say this is true?
Yes, I have always liked the close-up of faces. The human face, old or young, is for me a passage. And
is it countryside?
Yes, it's very beautiful and worth studying. And I'm very happy when the actor or the actress and I succeed in disclosing disclosing the thoughts and the feelings behind the words.
What further projects, if any, have you in mind?
Oh, I have many ideas, but I prefer only to talk about Medea and the Christ film, for which I made the scenario many years ago. And I should like to make Medea before the Christ film, because both subjects belong to the Hellenistic period. So Medea is for me a previous research work on the way to the summit, which I consider the Christ film as a summit of my production in this life.